Hey, I'm back with more TV reviews. It's been a little while since I've done a TV review. Mostly because, well, reasons I just haven't done them as much lately. But I figured because, as you can see by the episode title, we this is I'm doing Fear the Walking Dead, which is AMC's new TV show based off of The Walking Dead. So yeah, it's just a spin-off series of the main series, The Walking Dead. Um, so far, in the first season, there's only gonna be 6 episodes. This particular episode was an hour and a half long, so I kind of hope that they make all the episodes an hour and a half long, just so that because then that'll make the 6 episodes seem less small, and it'll put more stock in the season. But so so I'm gonna do the review, and then I'll talk a little bit about what I want to see with this TV show and what I hope to do. So, this series takes place in L.A. So, instead of being centered around the area around Atlanta, Georgia, which the main series of The Walking Dead is based out of, this one's based on the West Coast instead of the East Coast. So, you meet 5 characters in the show. So you meet. Give me a second because I have them listed here. You meet the main characters, who is Madison, who is a high school guidance counselor, and is a currently single mom, whom is trying to raise her 2 kids. Give me a second here. Alicia, who is your typical child prodigy who also hates her home life, and then her son Nick, who's the exact opposite, and he's like a drug addict and flunked out of college. And then you also meet Travis, who is her boyfriend, who is an English teacher at the same college, and he also has and you meet for a little bit, not too much, his son Chris, who, judging by previews and what they showed off of the show, becomes more important. So, the episode starts off with Nick waking up in a church, and he hears noises coming from down below. So he goes downstairs in the church, and he finds this girl named I believe her name's Chloe. If I'm not mistaken, the girl's name is Chloe, or a girl that he was seeing and who lived there who had killed and is eating the other people in there. So we know she's a walker, but he doesn't know this. So he runs for his life out of the church, out into the middle of the street, and gets hit by a car. So his mom, Travis, and Alicia go visit him in the hospital, and his mom's convinced that he's just on drugs again because he's been going through rehab a lot. But he's more worried of whether or not it was the drugs, or if he's crazy, or if what he saw was real. So that's his whole problem of what's happening at this current point in the show. And basically, for the first hour, I'm not going to go into a lot of heavy detail with what happens, because like I said, the episode's 90 minutes long. For the first 60 minutes, you're just introducing the characters. Madison is struggling with both of her children, with Nick because of his drug problems, and then with Alicia because she, doesn't want to be a part of the family. She wants to move out. She wants basically nothing to do with the family. And, Travis has his own problems. His son Chris doesn't want anything to do with him. So, because he's divorced his mom and whatnot. So he's trying to help Madison out with her family. So he's trying to help Nick, and he's trying to help Nick put his mind at ease at whether or not he's crazy. So he went to the church, and he doesn't find the bodies, obviously, because again, we know they're walkers now, but he sees the blood. So and then he goes and he tells Madison this, and she doesn't believe him. But with Nick, he's in the hospital for a while, but then after an elderly man in the hospital, he goes critical. His heart starts to go down, and they have to send him to the ER. Nick slips out of the hospital and meets up with he meets up with his drug dealer, a guy named Cal, and Cal's like, okay, I'll give you a fix so that you can try to put the images away, but he plans on killing Nick because he thinks Nick ratted out on him, and in self-defense, Nick shoots Cal with his own gun and then runs off. While this is happening, both Madison and Travis are both looking for Nick, and one night after looking for him for a long time, they're driving on the road and there's a traffic jam and it looks like there's an accident or something, and they hear gunshots going off. And then, so after hearing gunshots going off, they drive away. And at school, like, Alicia and her friends are looking at the video, and you see a guy, and there's a lot of people are looking at the video of a guy biting a paramedic, and then the paramedic's and the police trying to fight him, and eventually unloading bullets into him. And so a lot of people were questioning, what's happening? Is it a virus? Is the video fake? What all is going on right now? What's up with all this? And you find out that Alicia's boyfriend is missing, and so she's trying to figure out where he is a lot. And so, and they let the school out early that day because of the shooting. So eventually, Nick is found, and he takes his mom and Travis to go investigate where Cal was, and he finds Cal's not there. So while they leave, they see Walker Cal, and at first they don't know he's a walker. When he tries to attack Madison, Nick backs the car into him and runs him over. But then, to their shock, he gets back up. So then Nick runs him over again, and at this point, the walker has bones sticking out. He's missing half his jaw. He can't even get up. But they see he's still alive, and and then at the end of the episode, Madison asks, what the hell's going on, and that's the end of the episode. So, what's more interesting to talk about this? So that's like a plot. That's the plot of the episode. What's more interesting to talk about is the implications of everything. During a class towards the middle of the show, Travis is talking about the book To Light a Fire, which he basically says it's it's man versus nature, and he says nature always wins, which is a great analogy in a way for the show. Nature always wins, which is man trying to fight. I guess you can consider. I mean, they've never actually said what started the zombie apocalypse. I don't think in the show. I don't even think in the comic books they've addressed what started the infection. So it is man versus nature at this point. And then at the end, during the this season on Fear the Walking Dead, one character says, I don't know his name because he hasn't been introduced yet. He says, man does evil out of fear. And I think that's another great, I think that what's pointing at this show. I personally maybe see this show only going for 2 or 3 seasons. Mostly because I think what is the driving force behind this show, especially unless they nail the characters and stuff this season, which they might do. But I mean, after one episode, I don't want to develop an opinion of the show yet. I liked the episode. I thought it was entertaining and it was cool to watch. But I know right now the appeal of the show is the early stages of the zombie apocalypse. Episode 1 of The Walking Dead. Rick's in a coma for 6 weeks. So you find out the world has gone to shit in 6 weeks. So you're kind of seeing that, or at least on the East Coast, the world went to shit on everything went to shit in 6 weeks. So in this, we're seeing how the world goes downhill, with martial law implemented and things like that, and riots, and how the world eventually ends, basically. I just think that that is the appeal of the show, at least right now. That is the appeal of the show. So I think that I hope they don't lose that. Going more than 2 or 3 seasons, I think you're going to lose that, and then it'll be too similar to The Walking Dead. And I think that's not what... We don't need another Walking Dead. This show kind of doesn't need to exist, but it's an interesting thing to see the world before The Walking Dead, It answers a lot of questions. It is a modern world. I mean, we kind of guessed that, but, there are smartphones. It is, a current day thing, so... I'm optimistic about this TV series. I hope it's really good. I mean, like I said, I would love to see 2 or 3 seasons of this, but I hope they don't milk the shit out of it. I mean, like I said, we only really need one Walking Dead. This is just a nice, like, addition. So, so yeah, we got 5 more weeks of this. So hopefully, hopefully the show turns out to be really good. But thanks for watching, and check it out. I might do the rest of this first season of Fear the Walking Dead, but we'll see. So I'll catch you guys later.